And it's, oh, beautiful. Oh my God, it's so good.
Okay, and all this is Juvia's. I'm using the Juvia's Place palette set. Okay, I'm using their Warrior palette. This is from the Warrior palette. I actually used a little bit of water to get that glittery effect.
I like the
All
makeup.
and all the lashes that I'm wearing, these are by Come On. She
Mm,
makes lashes and sells them. So
mm.
everything that I'm wearing on my face is 100% black. I buy black, sell black, I eat black. That's all I live. So I'm just promoting that
I
because we
like
need.
the makeup. The makeup is beautiful.
Thank you. I'm also a makeup artist.
Wow.
So in January of this year, I had did a 23andMe DNA test.
Mm,
I always knew I was African, but I wanted to confirm that because here in America, we don't really have that connection to our ancestral land.
mm,
They really keep our knowledge really basic. Most of us don't even know what we are, so we identify as black,
mhm.
which means that you're nothing. You just exist in a white man's world. That's what that term black really means. So I went ahead and said, to just get rid of all of the wondering, let me do my DNA test. So I waited my 4 weeks.
Mm.
My test came back. When it came back that I was 32.6 Nigerian, I celebrated.
Thank
Then on that journey,
you.
I showed my mother. I was like, Mom,
Uh,
we're Nigerian. My mom was like, does it really matter? I said, yes, it matters because now I have a place that I can call home
oh,
and I know who I am now. And I did more research. I discovered that Virginia was one of the slave ports where a lot of the Igbo people came here
no.
from. So
Mm,
there's also a great chance that I could be from a Igbo tribe.
mm.
So, honey, when I discovered that, I was like, okay, I am African. And then I remembered the quote of what Kwame said.
Mm,
I am not African because I was born in the motherland. I am African because Africa was born in me.
mm.
So that's my connection to my ancestral roots. I take it with pride to know that I'm Nigerian.
So, so since then, what have you been doing? I know that discovering your ancestral roots has changed so many things about you. Tell us more how you have been promoting the culture. Tell us.
Okay, so I started to educate people on my Facebook page about African culture and history,
Mm,
a lot about who we were
mm,
before we were colonized. I also start reaching out to my Nigerian brothers and sisters during this hard time that they're going through of being discriminated against by Chinese.
okay.
I made a video talking about how we need to remember who we are and why we need to unite and come together. So I support and I stand with Nigerians that are facing discrimination right now. When I found out that they were being denied medical assistance at their hospitals, when I found out that they're being evicted out of their homes, when I found out they were turned away from restaurants, and we have in Nigeria, we have taken a lot of Chinese, and they're treated like kings and queens in our country. But in China and some parts of Africa where Chinese are really colonizing now, they're really mistreating our people, even within the continent. And this is something that infuriated me. I became enraged, and so I will always talk against what my brothers and sisters are going through. And also, I started boycott Chinese businesses until this is resolved. I'm not buying nothing from Chinese people. I went natural, so I didn't even have to worry about buying hair for them. I will wear my own hair before I buy hair from somebody that hates me. And I really feel that that's something that global Africa needs to start doing. We need to start seeing how can we start supplying our need for beauty. We know what we like. Like I see a lot over there on this side of the camera that I like that I would buy. If you had a store, I would be there, honey. We know what we like. So we need to start uniting and coming together and buying from one another, supporting black businesses, supporting African businesses, and keep that money within our community.
I think so. But at the same time, we don't have to boycott their businesses because not all Chinese are rapists. You know that.
Okay, but not every Africans are not responsible for the coronavirus. Okay, so I'm being real right now. Please forgive me, but I'm being real.
I know.
Okay, I not all vipers bite people, but am I going to sit around and wait for one to bite me to find out? All I see is the mistreatment of my people. So as long as they're being persecuted and being called monkeys and being called disrespected by them, you're not getting my dollar. I'll give my dollar to my sister, but I'm not going to give it to somebody that hates me. It's that simple.
Yes, that's Africa. Until the Guinea, in Guinea, it was in Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
The government of Guinea ordered the arrest of all Chinese nationals in their
Mm-hmm.
country until all the Guineans in China will come back to Guinea. They will not release them from prison. So it's a it was a kind of a revenge for the maltreatment of Africans in China. So for me, I think if they don't stop this discrimination going on in China, it can also lead to anti-Chinese sentiment.
But you know something that's going to happen,
Mm,
and I'm telling you what's going to happen.
mm,
People within my age group, okay, I'm 31.
mm,
People in my age group are getting tired. We're fed up. We saw what our parents been through. We saw what our grandparents have been through.
mm.
And this generation is saying no more. No more will we be mistreated. No more will we be looked down upon. We're rising up and we're not taking it. Eventually, this is going to lead to a lot of hard times for the Chinese, especially when it comes to deals that we have made with them. We might need to renegotiate some of those deals to get them out of our land. If you cannot respect us and respect our people, you do not have no business being in our land, colonizing us, buying land. We're giving you resources and you're mistreating our people. And without our resources, you would be nothing. We need to get that mindset to understand we control them. Without our resources, what do they have?
Yeah, but we have to also blame the African leaders.
Yes, I do. That's who I'm talking about, sis.
Mm,
We have to start looking at them and seeing why aren't they saying aid to our people in Nigeria that are being mistreated. They need to call their people home
mm,
and they need to take the kids that are in school right now that are in the Chinese colleges,
mm.
send them home. They even separated Chinese and Africans that were married. They put them out the home. So they're breaking up families as well. And that's something that cannot continue to go on. It's something that we do have to start looking at our leaders, giving them the side eye. So you're so afraid because you made deals with these people that
Mm.
you will allow your people to be mistreated, even killed. What's up? That makes us look bad as a people when we do not call for our people to be treated with respect and dignity because we're afraid that someone's going to pull something back that we want.
Yeah, and moreover, African leaders they should stop relying on China.
Honey, we don't need them. Once I start now that I understand the minerals and resources that we could trade with one another, we don't need nobody. Think about it. Okay, Nigeria is I want to say this. Forgive me, every other African nation out there. I love you. But
Mm.
Nigeria is an important country.
Yes,
And Nigeria is kind of the lungs. If Nigeria sneezes, all of Africa feels it.
exactly.
Okay, so if Nigeria hiccups, every other country is going to be affected by that. That really right there shows you that if we start trading with one another, start saying, okay, I might not have copper, but I do have this, or that. Let's start trading. We have to also get rid of all these things that Europeans have placed in our country to keep us from selling. I know about the Berlin Conference, and I learned that from a card.
Mm.
She was talking about how we have to do away with the Berlin Conference so we can start trading within our own country. Here we have a United States, okay? So we basically have all these countries within the US that are not struggling because we help our other states out. Imagine if that happened in Africa. how great our people would be. That would eliminate poverty. We can bring a lot of remote villages up with fresh running water, electricity. We can change that overnight if we can just come together. And that's why I'm here in the United States calling on all my African brothers and sisters, no matter where you are in the world, we need to get our unity back and we need to start standing up for one another. And that's what I'm using my platform to do.
So what is your insight about religion? The religion that was introduced to Africans.
Okay, so I myself, I was born a Pentecostal Christian. Once I started studying African history,
Mm,
I discovered that we already knew who our God was. We already had a religion. We already had laws and rules. We already had a whole system that was not primitive. It was very state of the art during
mm,
that time period. We were living good. Once I discovered that Christianity is white supremacy, and I'm going to explain what I'm trying to say, because I know some people might not understand what I'm trying to say. Anytime they give you a white image to worship, that becomes adultery. And what are you worshiping? The white man. That's why we have to separate the lies from the word of God. If you go read in Revelations, it tells you what the true image of Jesus is. It is not blonde hair and blue eyes. It said his hair is like wool, and his eyes are like flame of fire, and his skin is burnt unto bronze. Does that sound like somebody that is from Europe? No, it does not. They have distorted the image of Christ to keep us enslaved to them. When they start bringing in, when the Catholic Church start bringing in, the
mm,
Portuguese missionaries start bringing in
mm,
a lot of their Catholic missionaries, and they start bringing in the idols of Mary and Jesus and giving it to our people.
mm.
And our people start to leave their religions and their cultures, and they start adapting to that. And that's how we were colonized, because they told us everything that we did was wrong. Imagine if I came to your house, sis, and I start telling you everything you're doing here is wrong, and
Yes,
you need to do things my way.
it's
You would tell me,
barbaric.
to get out, right?
Yes, what they did was that they came to Africa and introduced their religion to us and telling us that whatever religion we were adopting prior to
Hmm.
their arrival is barbaric. is
Yeah.
is inferior. So that is the thing. And we Africans, we digest this story and we were colonized, not just physically colonization, we were also our conscience. They colonized our conscience, imposed their language, their religion upon us. And today, we even consider our own religion as inferior to that of those who colonized us, of those who came to come and destroy our ancestors.
I am into Pan-African spirituality.
Mm,
I'm learning the religion of my ancestors, and I'm learning to respect and honor my ancestors so
mm,
we can keep their dreams and hope for a united Africa alive.
mm,
If anyone tells you not to honor your ancestors and not to keep your traditions and cultures,
mm,
they're trying to set you up for genocide. And that's what happened. Once religion, once white man's religion reached the shores of
mm,
our country,
mm,
that's when genocide started. That's when diseases start showing up in Africa. No one came and gave us anything. Once Africans start to realize that we have our own God, and it was not the white man's God, it's our own God in our own image,
mm,
that's when things are going to change. We have to take that blinder off that they put on us and realize that they brought nothing to us. They gave nothing to us. We already built thousands of dynasties throughout Africa. So many kingdoms we built. We cultivated them. We educated them. We civilized them. But no one ever holds them to that. No one ever shows them, like, hey, wait a minute. Like, let's go there. You're saying that you brought Christianity to us,
mm.
but we were already a civilized people with laws. You
Yeah.
can even go look at ancient Kemet.
Mm,
They had the 42 laws of Malta, and it told you do not pollute the water, do not steal, do not kill, do not commit adultery. We already have that. And it also was affirmations you have to do with that to make sure that you're keeping yourself aligned with the laws of Mahat, which transcends to my heart. I'm not going to sin against my own temple. I'm not going to sin against myself. We already had that whole ideology on God and monotheism, meaning we already understood about the whole concept of God. We didn't need theology. Theology is a white man because they don't understand the things of God. Okay, some people believe that we are God, but I'm not going to go into that. Not going into that because, a lot of people don't understand that, but they understood that. I will not sin against God pretty much means I'm not going to sin against myself. That's what they were actually trying to say.
So, yeah, so right now, I'm planning to visit Africa. When we say Africa, one thing for people are mistaken about Africa, they tend to be calling Africa as, if it's a country. Africa is not a country, but a continent that,
Mm-hmm.
that consists of many countries. So
Yes.
we saw that on on the media that some African Americans they called Africa as if it's a country. I think we need to be correcting people about that.
Oh, honey, I be hurting feelings.
We need to be correcting people about that, especially the African Americans. They should know clearly that Africa is a continent, not
Actually, it's more than that. It's more than that.
a continent. So
Sweetheart, it's more
yeah,
than that. They
um,
tell us it's just a continent. Africa is the largest landmass that ever exists.
yes.
They've divided it up now, but India, they believe China, Russia, all used to be a part of Africa, but they hide that knowledge.
Yes. So we should try to be educating people about the continent that Africa is not a country, but
Mm-hmm.
continent. So you have the responsibility of doing that. Let people understand that do not call Africa a country. It's not a country. It's a continent
Yes.
that consists of many, many countries. All right. So are you planning to visit Nigeria soon?
Yes. Okay. I was planning a visit to Africa. I'm sorry. I was going to go to Ghana. Okay. But then all those plans were destroyed when the COVID-19 broke out.
Yes.
All my plans of traveling to Africa in October was destroyed. I was going there for my birthday.
Oh.
And now those plans have been put on a hold.
Mm.
The tour group that I was going with, they canceled until
Oh.
further notice. So yes, I was really sad. I said, now I got myself together. I made plans to go to Africa finally. Then this happens?
Yeah, yeah. You know what happened not last year? 50 African Americans they came to Benin, where I come from, my place in Nigeria. They came to the King's Palace. 50 African Americans. You know what? They said they find their ancestral background from the
Yes.
city, from Benin. I think
Oh my gosh.
they came to our King's Palace, the Oba of Benin, because we have a king. Our king is very popular, not just only in Africa, in the whole world. Many people know about our king. So they came to the palace, claiming that they feel their ancestral background to be from Benin. It was so interesting. So interesting. Yeah,
I gotta come.
yeah.
And I'm gonna go there. And I'm trying to
American.
get me that jollof rice and that goat meat, honey. I'm
Oh,
trying. Even
yeah.
though I'm going vegan, I'm on that journey of eating better and
Mm,
teaching, African women globally that we have to do better with our health. We have the possibilities of living for hundreds of years if we take care of our temple. And that's something I'm also pushing too is we have to start taking care of our temples and making sure that we're eating healthy and teaching our children to eat. We are the people who used to heal. We came up with all medicines that a lot of people are using today. We had natural remedies we need to go back to and stop relying on people who wants to kill us. Really
exactly.
need to.
Could you believe that recently Madagascar they said they find a cure, a kind of a remedy for coronavirus? Have you heard about that?
Yes. You mean the ones in Madagascar? They already had,
Mm,
sweetheart,
mm.
That's why I love my people so much. That's why I love us.
But
They say that viruses cannot keep themselves going if it gets too hot. I saw this brother online in a steam tent with herbs he was mixing up in a pot, and he was breathing that in. He came out and he was sweating, and they sweated that virus out of him, and he felt better. We know how to heal. That's what we've been doing for hundreds of years.
yes, exactly.
So if we did that for hundreds of years, we need to go back to that and stop relying on European medicine. And I'm gonna say this, and it's on topic.
Mm.
Our genetic makeup is not really the same as Europeans. There's medicines that they create as after their body genetics, not for us. That's why the medicines aren't really effective when it comes to us. We need more minerals and more vitamins because we have a higher level of melanin that needs more minerals. Most of us don't even know that about ourselves. I'm also studying a lot about health and holistic health because we need to get our health in order.
Yes, yes.
Also, fertility, that's something that we are very famous for. We have a beautiful gift for fertility,
Mm.
and that's something we need to be proud of. When I hear that they're trying to bring vaccinations to my people to depopulate, because that's what's behind that, I'm happy that my brothers and sisters are rising up saying, no, y'all keep that where y'all at. Test over there. I'm happy y'all are getting that boldness. I was celebrating.
Exactly. You know what? For me, I was very angry when I saw the news. French doctors
Mm-hmm.
on national TV.
Yes,
You know, everywhere that people are watching, Africans are watching, they were suggesting Africa as
they
their
are.
in 21st century. We are living in 21st century. How come French doctors they were saying it openly on
They're
national TV?
blatantly racist.
Yeah. So for
Because for years we haven't said nothing. For years we've been silenced. For years we've been told not to say nothing. But I'm gonna tell you something, Mama Africa. Okay, we are finding our voice, and it is loud, and we're standing up and saying, "No." Do you know what happened in the Ivory Coast? They had tried to build those testing facilities. The people in that village tore it down with their bare hands and said, "No." We when they said they didn't want the vaccines, they meant that.
beside that, for me, I will blame the political leaders of
I
Africa.
do blame the political leaders, but I'm happy that the people are pushing back. When they see that their leaders sell them out, the
Thank
people are pushing back now,
you.
and that's why I'm saying I am proud. Even the Kenyan president came and said, "You're
Mm,
not going to test on my people." He
exactly.
said that because why? The people were saying, "Are you crazy? Are you mad?" No.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
The people are fighting back these days.
Yes.
Anytime the politicians try to practice any corrupt with the Western world or the Chinese people, but the people are pushing. People
We
are
are.
pushing these days. It's not like before that everybody will just be quiet. But these days, people are waking up. Africa, even though
I'm
the politicians
proud.
are waking up, but ordinary Africans, they are waking up to this discrimination going on in the world, which is very good.
It is. And the thing about it, though, African Americans here, and the thing about it, though, we were mad with our brothers and sisters. When we see their pain and we see everything they're going through, it really resonates with us here. In America, we are actually murdered by law enforcement, and the people get off. And they'll be like, well, I feared for my life. And it just said enough said. And a lot of people have been getting off killing our people with law enforcement. And we're suffering globally because we need to unite. If we unite, we can start helping one another within the continent. And then eventually all of us can start coming back home. I want to come home. I want to smell the air of my ancestors and eat the food and enjoy my good culture and look like a queen every day. Honey, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I need.
So, how much have you been connecting with Africans in the US? where you live?
Okay, so I have two Nigerian friends here in Williamsburg. I
Hmm.
used to be a nanny for them because her husband is a doctor and he was in Jamaica for a while. So I used to keep the babies and everything like that. Then I also have another friend in Newport News where I get these clothes from. Jeffrey, hi, if you ever see this, hey brother, yep. My message for African leaders: pay attention to how they're treating our people and start dealing with them accordingly. Stop accepting deals from the devil and start relying on your own resources. We have everything we need within a continent. We just need to free up our resources so we can start using it for our people and putting people who don't belong there out. It's our home and we have to start defending it. That's what I want to say to African leaders. We have to start being loyal to our people and putting our people's needs first.
Exactly, and also be self-reliance.
Yes,
The problem we're having is that we so much depend on foreign.
codependency is a mental disorder.
We need to be self-reliant in order for us to gain our freedom. Otherwise, the more you borrow money from Chinese, the more you become a slave to them. So do you know that? Yes, the more you borrow money from them, definitely you are becoming a slave of the Chinese people.
Yes,
So
and we have to stop.
yes,
Why? Okay, they're in our country. Imagine if we start selling people copper for what it's really worth. How is it that you have Africa, we produce a large amount of cocoa beans and cocoa butter and all these things, and we only see 1% of that or 2% of that? The big question is why? Because our leaders allow that. They're allowing people to rip us off of our resources because they get $1 million in their account.
mm,
They give you this fake luxury lifestyle that they can strip from you at any moment. I saw how they do assassinate our leaders. Patrice, Kwame, all of our leaders who tried to rise up, and make changes. They don't like them. And I cannot forget Thomas Sanker. He was really trying to show people how to be reliant on themselves. He was trying to do a lot of the Berlin Conference, agreements. Then he was trying to do away with those. And that's why I believe till this day he was assassinated because of that. We have to start protecting people who speak for us
exactly.
instead of turning against them. That goes for us here on this side too. I'm just not saying over there, on this side too, because we've had leaders like Malcolm,
Mm.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
We lost great leaders who were trying to lead us to victory. And I'm sorry I'm emotional.